Welcome to What Future Are You Willing to Wake Up To? I'm Becky Vannes, author, speaker, entrepreneur, and creator of the 100-Day Workbook, What Future Are You Willing to Wake Up To? And the companion book, Begin Before You Feel Ready. This podcast is an invitation to stop waiting for your life to change and begin creating your future with more awareness, choice, energy, receiving, and daily practice. Each week, we'll explore the questions, stories, and choices that help you come back to your own knowing and begin creating a life that feels more like you. So, take a breath, stay curious, and let's ask the question, what future are you willing to wake up to? Hello, everyone. Welcome back or welcome forward. Today's podcast title is What If You Had Nothing to Prove? It's about writing, fear, and learning to trust yourself. So I actually had this whole well thought out plan of different podcasts and different titles that I wanted to do first, right? Really to kind of talk to everybody about like what the workbook is, what the story is, to give people more information, more tools. But this week, this came up and I was like, you know what? This is a real topic for me. In real time, what I mean, like real time. So I was like, let's talk about it. Let's do this. So here we are today. I'm actually even in my riding clothes. And I'm like, but this is what we're doing. I did brush my hair for this though. But I am in my equestrian riding clothes still. So here we go. This is a really big topic for me today. And for any of you that are doing the workbook, are doing the work daily, you'll have these moments. So welcome back to What Future Are You Willing to Wake Up To? And this episode feels really special because it came from a real moment in my life. It started with riding. And you're like, riding what? Well, I ride horses. I have a horse. I have a horse named Fred, and I also ride a horse named Mr. Supernova that is an amazing lesson horse. So when I talk about riding, I'm talking about equestrian English horseback riding, just so you know. So it started with me noticing how often I get on a horse and immediately will start thinking, am I doing this right? I'm wrong. I ride wrong, right? Like these are the things that I've really like been highlighted lately again, I noticed. Does my seat look awkward? Like I always like watch videos and analyze my position in my seat. So am I sitting too tall? Am I sitting up too straight? Am I too stiff? Do I look like other riders? Like, that's a big thing too with social media now. Like it's so easy to compare yourself to other people and then the way they ride. Like I found several people that I love watching them ride. And so then I'm like comparing my videos to their videos, which they could be riding for 20 some years. I don't know. And I've only been riding for like 3 years. So, yeah, like, do I look like that rider? Does my trainer think I'm good enough? What do they think that I'm, doing well? So then I had this awareness with all of like these thoughts, right, that have been running through my head. And like if I had nothing to prove to anybody, to anyone, and if I was not comparing myself to anyone, would I not be focused on that at all? Like, would these thoughts even be coming into my head? And like, what would I be focusing on? Well, like often, when I'm talking with people, love to compare like writing to having a good dance partner. As like if you're in connection with this person, if you're in communion with them. Like I actually gave this example today when I was talking to my friend, my barn bestie, Pat. And I was like, well, it's interesting when you watch someone dance and you think that they're actually even in relationship. Like then they've done so well. Like a lot of times they're not in relationship, like, but like they have such a connection and they dance together so well. You're like, wow, I bet they're a couple. Or even it might even seem sensual, or like these different things come up while you're watching these two dance. And I always love to compare writing to that, because actually you have a dance partner. Like you are in this connection when you're writing. Like you do want to be connected. Well, at least I do. I mean, I don't want to say you do, like everybody does, but you do. So, like, if I didn't have all these judgments and all of these thoughts coming up in my head, like, well, I would be focused on connection. I wouldn't be like, "Am I sitting too tall? Am I moving this way?" No, I'd be like, "Wow, am I moving with my horse? And do I, like feel connected to them, him?" Um, I would be focused on learning. I would I would be focused on having fun because riding actually is so much fun. And when you're constantly judging yourself or you're doing this, like, is that fun? Like, I don't think they can coincide. Like, I don't think fun and judgment can actually like happen at the same time. So, um, and my target in life is to have fun. That's one of them, obviously. So when I asked like these questions, something much deeper opened up for me. And what would I focus on if I had nothing to prove? What would I be focused on? So, this is exactly the kind of moment like my workbook was created for. And I am actively now doing my workbook too. So, I have these moments. Like, I don't have it perfect, like I have these moments. I'm always in the creation of my life. And when things come up, I'm like, yes, it's a great time to look at this. So, it's the exact kind of moment that the workbook was created for. Because what future are you willing to wake up to is not about fixing yourself. It's not about you're wrong. It's not about you're not doing it right. It's not about you need something else um, to make you right. This is about becoming aware of what you're choosing, what patterns are running in your head, in your mind, like in your life, what patterns are happening and what energy you're creating from, and what future are you willing to choose now. So the workbook has these daily practices, awareness, questions, journaling, future vision, embodiment practices, rewiring moments, micro challenges, gratitude, acknowledgement. And this moment with writing was all of that in real life. This whole week with the writing and then really looking at like what I was telling myself is a perfect time to really look at this. So like this moment happened to me in, real time. Like it was about the awareness. It was a question. It was my body showing me something. It was an old pattern coming up. And when I'm talking now about, writing, like gratefully, my horse is just like the catalyst for this to come up for me. Like this is probably happening everywhere in my life. This is just being highlighted right now in writing so that I could see this. And once you get to see something, it's an invitation to choose again. It was this old pattern coming up. It was a rewiring moment. And it was an invitation for me now to say, hey, what's this? Now I can choose something different. So I thought the problem was like my seat. And I thought the problem was my form because that's where I was really like critiquing myself on. Like, I don't, I don't look correct. I don't look like other people. So I thought that was a problem. I thought the problem was that I just didn't look right. I didn't look like the way other people, are riding. But the deeper awareness that I had, that's why this topic came up now in the podcast instead of the other great topics that I really thought would come first. Was it happened in the moment? Like, so I thought all of these things were my problem, but the deeper awareness was maybe I was looking for approval. And you're like, well, wait a minute. Here you're judging yourself about you don't look right. But like, what do you mean? How did you go from like that to like I was looking for approval? Well, because I really started then diving into the moments. So like what was happening? What was underneath that? What was I looking for? Like what do I, require here? So like I was really saying like, wow, maybe I was wanting someone to tell me like you're doing okay. Like you're doing a great job. You're putting in the hard work. You're safe. You belong here. And maybe I was creating a problem to focus on because part of me was longing to be reassured. So it's like, wow, am I actually creating a problem when there isn't a problem? Like, why would I do that? And then I really just started diving deep into like these old patterns that I have. And like, wow, I actually just want somebody to tell me, wow, you're doing a good job. You got this. And it was a really vulnerable, tender moment for me when I was like, ooh, okay, so maybe I'm creating a problem. And it's actually something really bigger and deeper and older than, well, my seed isn't correct. And so because so many of us do this, I do this. Maybe you do it. I don't want to say you do it, but I do this. We make something wrong with us before someone else can say I'm doing it wrong. Let me be wrong before then you tell me I'm wrong, and then it's really going to be devastating for myself, right? So we say I'm not good at this because what I really wanted to hear is, wow, you're doing okay. Wow, you're improving. You are doing good. We I try to fix myself because underneath that is the part of me asking, am I safe here? If I'm not perfect, like if I'm not perfect, am I safe? Interesting. So this reminds me so much of the heart of the book, the companion book that I also wrote of Begin Before You Feel Ready. So with that book, I really dive into a lot of stories, but like with the book, it's the conversation. The workbook is the practice. And in this episode, it's definitely one of those moments where I realized I really realized the practice was happening in real life. So yeah, happening in real life. Like these are real moments, that we all go through. And, just to also, say again is that I actually created this workbook in the beginning just for me. I needed it. I was actually doing this in my notes in my phone every day. I I was like, I'm going to be choosing to create my life. And so within, I actually was, I do work in publishing. So I was like, yeah, I can do this. Let me just create my own workbook I looked everywhere for it. I couldn't find anything like this. It has a lot of the tools that I've created. And so I was like, I'm going to do this. So here's the workbook, and then here's the stories. And then here now I'm really, living this moment of, wow, just this old pattern. And like, wow, how does that apply? So once again, it really ties into the Begin Before You Feel Ready. That book is the conversation that we have with ourselves, our life story, like behind these practices. So it is the stories, the questions, the moments, and the awarenesses that create the tools inside of the workbook. So one of the biggest threads in that book is this, you do not have to feel ready before you begin to work on yourself, before you begin the new idea that you want to create in your life, the new job, the new whatever that is for you. So you begin, and the readiness grows through the choosing. That applies here too, for me in the story. Back to my story. I do not have to wait until I feel like the perfect rider to enjoy riding. Like I'm ruining my experience in my riding, judging I'm not a good enough rider, right? Like there's no joy and there's no fun in that. So I had to go back and really look and use the tools for myself. Like I do not have to wait until I am perfect to have fun enjoying my riding, my horses, my life. I do not have to wait until I, look like everyone else to belong in the saddle. I do not have to wait until I feel fearless to build trust. I can begin where I am, like right now. I can ride where I am. I can choose connection now. So like as I really sat with this more, another layer came forward, because that's what happens when you have these, if you're really willing to look at, like have the awareness of like, what are you telling yourself, and like, how are you creating your life? Because everything that shows up in your future, like, or today, is you created it yesterday or the day before or the month before. Because whether you want to think it or not, you are actively creating your life. Now you're creating greatness, you're creating crap, or you're creating nothing. Like a lot of people are like, I don't know. And so every day is, I don't know. That's what you're creating, So like when I was like looking at this more and more, I'm diving deeper into like what I'm telling myself. Wow, I'm judging myself. I'm not having fun. Like, what does this really come down to? And another layer came forward for me. And once again, this is really kind of a real raw moment for me. But I was like, wow, I grew up and not always feeling safe. Like my dad was in Vietnam, had like his own life and his own issues. He was an alcoholic. So as a child, like I did not always know what version of him I was going to get when he came home. And when you grow up around unpredictability, your nervous system learns things. Like it learns to scan a room. It learns to read the room. It will learn to not push. It learns to stay small. It learns to be careful. It learns that someone else's mood can become like my emergency. So when I'm around someone who feels like critical, or when I'm doing something unpredictable, like riding a horse is not predictable. That's not wrong, but they're not. My body can go back into that old pattern. And I've been noticing this for a while, probably 3 years, honestly, but I really didn't have like words for it. And I always kind of worked through like the nervousness in my gut before a ride. And I'm like, oh, it's just nerves, or maybe it's excitement, because that can be too. But when you have like this deep layer in you, And, like when you really look at your nervous system and how it adapts and protects you, um, was such a big moment for me because I'm like, wow, this is kind of what I've been doing to myself. I'm always going into a ride and it's unpredictable, and I somewhere have decided unpredictability is unsafe. It's unsafe for me. And so I can start asking something different. And so today I had such a fantastic ride after really diving deep into this. That's why I came and I'm in my equestrian clothes. If you're on the blog and you don't see the video, like I had to brush my hair, but I'm in equestrian clothes because I was like, I really need to get this down now. Even though it's not the right order, it's not the right, but it's like such a good workable moment. And so I started asking myself, am I safe? Because I'm not a child anymore. I don't have to function that way anymore. I have new choices. I am actively creating my life. Am I safe? Okay. Am I in trouble? That's a big one. Like I always, would this maybe where the wrongness was coming from. I'm not writing right. I'm wrong. Right. Like, and when I'm wrong, I could be in trouble. I'm doing something wrong. I don't want anyone to be mad. So am I in trouble? Did I do something wrong? Did I need to fix this fast? Can I relax? Or do I need to be ready for something to happen? And that changed how I saw my writing anxiety. Like, it's not a weakness. It was not me being dramatic. It was an old safety pattern asking to be seen, right? Like, this is awareness for me. Well, this is why awareness is so powerful. Awareness is not there to make us wrong. Um, it is the first door. Like when I can see, oh, this is an old pattern, I do not have to become the pattern. I can pause, I can breathe, I can ask a different question. Like in the workbook, awareness is the place where you stop judging what is happening and start noticing what is actually going on. What am I telling myself? Why am I nervous? Why am I scared? So instead of saying, why am I like this? I can ask, what is my body showing me? What is the fear trying to protect? Like, what am I trying to protect here? What old pattern is asking to be rewired? What can I choose now? So then I saw something even deeper, really looking at this, which I was so grateful for. I'm like, wow, this is a cool moment. I'm grateful. Um, wow. So I was like, okay, what else here? And I was like, wow, horses are not machines. They're living, they're breathing beings. They have personalities, they have energy, they have instincts, they have moods, they have reactions. Even the best horse is still a horse. So, and that is part of what makes horses so beautiful. But if unpredictability felt unsafe as a child, then of course writing can bring up something in my nervous system. Not because Fred or my Mr. Nova are bad, not because I'm not capable, but because of my body maybe saying, this is unpredictable. And unpredictability used to mean danger for me, fear. Yeah. Whew. So that awareness softened something in me because now I do not have to shame myself for feeling nervous. I can understand myself now. I can say, of course, this makes sense. My body is not trying to like, sabotage me, it's trying to protect me with an old pattern. This is also why Fred has been such a teacher for me. And in my book, Begin Before You Feel Ready, Fred is not just a horse in the story. He is one of my greatest teachers. And even in this moment now, like I get the greatness that came up that I could now look at and have something different. So he's one of my greatest teachers. He has shown me presence, leadership, trust, energy, and what it means to create a relationship beyond words. Fred has taught me that trust is not control. It doesn't have to be force. It doesn't have to be domination. Trust is relationship. Trust is presence. Trust is listening. Trust is leading without force, where people just want to be with you. They want to follow you. You're not forcing anybody. You're like, I want to be with you. When I'm with you, I'm happy. My nervous system is happy. So trust is saying, connected. Trust is staying connected when something feels uncertain. And that is exactly what this episode is about. That safety, like my new safety, is not control. Like the deeper healing is not making every horse predictable. Good luck with that. Or every person, right? Like, good luck with that. So, and honestly, it's not making every person predictable either. Good luck. The healing is learning. I can be with unpredictability and still trust myself. Like I can pause, I can breathe, I can ask for help. I can get off, I can say no, I can speak up, I can take a moment. I don't have to be forced into anything. I can take a moment. I can speak up, I can leave. I mean, I can protect myself now. That is a different kind of safety. I can actually help myself. I'm not that little scared girl like anymore, waiting to see how people, not just my dad then, but how people are going to act. And then, try to figure out how I'm going to have to weave in everything and make everybody happy, or what I need to give up of me to make sure that they don't react and then everyone's safe. So that's a different kind of safety, like not the safety that says nothing unexpected will ever happen, but the safety that says if something unexpected happens, I will stay with myself. That is self-trust. That is leadership. That is being the leader of your life. So that brings in like the embodiment practice. And I was like, okay, this is where embodiment matters, because I cannot just think myself into safety. My body has to experience safety, being safe. So before I ride, I can create a small embodiment practice. And that's what I did today. And I had such a fabulous ride. I can place, my hand on me, and then I placed my hand on Fred's neck, and I can breathe. I can feel my seat. I can soften my shoulders. I can look around and remind myself, I am here. This is today. I'm an adult now. I have choices now. I can protect myself now. I can ride for connection, not approval. Like, this is the workbook in real life. The embodiment practice is not just something on a page. It is the moment where I can bring the awareness into my body and choose differently and live the tools, actively create my life. I have nothing to prove. So this also connects so clearly to me one of the workbook themes of nothing to prove. Like, who would I be if I had nothing to prove? What would I choose if I was not trying to earn my place? Like, what would I create if I was not trying to be perfect first? For me, in writing, I would focus on connection, softness, learning, joy, partnership, trust, communion. I would let the ride be a conversation, not a performance. And maybe that applies to all of us. Like, I'm talking about writing, but believe me, this is just where it showed up. Like, this happens in my life. And now I have something different. So, where are you turning something you love into something you have to prove? Where are you making yourself wrong because you're waiting for someone else to validate you? Where are you trying to be perfect so you can feel safe? And what if you did not need to prove you belong? And, real quick rewiring moment. This is where the rewiring moment comes in. The old patterns say, I need to be perfect. I need to be safe. I need approval to relax. I need everyone else to be predictable before I can trust myself. And the new choice says, I can be safe with myself. I can stay with myself. I can protect myself. I can learn without being wrong. I can be corrected without collapsing. I can choose connection instead of approval. Like, that is a rewiring moment. Not all at once, not perfectly, but one moment at a time. One breath, one ride, one choice, one creation, one question. And the inner child piece. Wow. Like, one of the most healing things I can say to this younger part of me is, hey, little Becky, like, I see you. You are not in trouble. You do not have to be perfect to be safe. You do not have to earn approval before you can relax. I know unpredictability used to feel scary, but I am here now. I am an adult now. But we pause. We can pause here. We can breathe. We can ask for help. We can choose what works for us. We do not have to prove anything to belong here. And that is so powerful. Because maybe the approval I was looking for outside of me was really my inner child asking, will you stay with me? Will you protect me? Will you believe in me? Like, will you stop abandoning me when someone else does not approve? So begin now, right? That's the begin before you feel ready. I'm going to begin now with this. This is where, like, this all comes back again, because healing does not always mean waiting until the fear is gone. Sometimes healing means beginning with fear present, but not letting your fear lead. It means saying, like, I may not feel completely ready, but I can take one next step now. I can choose one breath. I can choose one lap at the walk. Like, I can choose one moment of connection. I can choose to stay with myself today. I don't have to be scared. I don't have to fix everything in the room because of an unpredictable person. I can choose me. That is the beginning that is beginning before you feel ready. Like, not forcing, not pushing, not proving, choosing. So here is one challenge for you today. So if you're listening here, here's your micro challenge. Think of one area of your life where you are trying to prove yourself. Maybe it's your work, your body, your parenting, your relationship, your healing, your business, your creativity, your writing, your money, your future. Ask yourself this. What am I trying to prove here? Who am I trying to get approval from? And What would I focus on if I had nothing to prove? What does my body need in order to feel supported? What would I choose if I trusted myself to protect me? Then choose one small action. It's not a whole life overhaul here, but one small action. Say no, ask for help, pause before reacting, talk to your inner child, the you that you are now. Go back and say, I know you're afraid, but you're okay. I trust me. We're here, right? Write a page, send a message to somebody. Stop explaining yourself, let yourself receive, choose from connection instead of approval. And now take one breath and imagine the future you're willing to wake up to. A future where you do not abandon yourself when you feel judged. A future where you can learn without performing. A future where you can be corrected. Like someone can say, wow, that's not quite right, without completely collapsing into, I'm so wrong. I never do anything right. I'm wrong. A future where you can be seen without needing to prove your worth. A future where joy matters as much as improvement. A future where you know I am safe with me. I trust myself to respond. I am allowed to be here. So, thank you for listening to this. This is what I am choosing now. I am choosing to ride for connection instead of approval. I am choosing to learn without making myself wrong. I am choosing to trust myself around the unknown. I am choosing to stop making every unpredictable thing mean danger. I'm choosing to protect the younger part of me who once had to scan, brace, and stay small. I'm choosing to remember I do not have to earn my place. I'm allowed to be here. So today I want you to leave with this question. What would you focus on if you had nothing to prove? What future becomes available when you stop proving and start choosing? And if this conversation stirred something in you, you can explore the 100-Day Workbook. What future are you willing to wake up to? And the companion book, Begin Before You Feel Ready. Because this work is not about getting it perfect. It's about awareness, choice, daily practice, and beginning from where you are. So thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for this conversation. Thank you for listening to What Future Are You Willing to Wake Up To? If this episode opened something for you, take this question with you today. What can I choose now that creates more of the future I desire? To continue the journey, explore the 100-Day Workbook, the companion book, Begin Before You Feel Ready, the online experience, guided audios, and coaching, go to www.becky-vannes.com/workbook. Until next time, keep choosing, keep creating, and remember, your future begins with the choices you make today.